Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the video? The paid request this time for my good friend Efree. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, but feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Efree wanted me to do a comparison with three movies: The Horror Show, Shocker, and The First Power. Which makes sense because they're all three films that are horror films dealing with a person that's been electrocuted and comes back for revenge in a supernatural way, where our lead guy has to deal and stop with this individual. And two of them it's cops, and the other it's, you find out, is the son of the killer. So they're three general idea, similar movies, but they still do it in their own different ways. Now, I like The Horror Show. I love Shocker and The First Power. And for those who don't even know, like, The Horror Show was a film around 88 to 89, and it was not going to be directed, well, I think another director was going to do it, but then they got the Jim Isaacs, who would go on to direct Jason X and stuff. Sadly, he's passed away, that director. Lance Henriksen is your lead, a police officer. Deals with Brian James, who was in 48 Hours. He was in Tango and Cash. He's been in a lot of stuff. As Max, Meat Cleaver Max. And like I say, he gets caught, electrocuted. Don't come back to fuck up Lance Henriksen's life, and he does so. Shocker, directed by Wes Craven. Mitch Pileggi as Horace Pinker. So he's caught, electrocuted, comes back, can possess bodies, among other stuff. The First Power, you got Lou Diamond Phillips teaming up with Tracy Griffith to deal with Jeff Colbert, who again gets caught. I don't think he's electrocuted. I think it was a gas chamber, I believe. And it comes back with certain powers. I kind of sat and went, well, how would I compare each one to like which I like more and so forth? Because I looked at all three of them. The lead guy, I liked all three leads. I think Peter Berg is not as bad as people make him out to be in Shocker. I could relate to him. I thought he was easy to root for. Lance Henriksen, definitely one of the MVPs of the Horror Show. Always great to see him as a lead, as a hero. There's not a whole lot of times he got to be the lead heroic character of a movie, Lance Henriksen. That's one of the reasons I like the Millennium TV show. Lou Diamond Phillips, of the three, I'll probably still give the edge to Lou Diamond Phillips, LDP for life. There's always been a Lou Diamond Phillips fan, and he had that energy and that tenacity, to be physical, and the way the script utilized him, and these chase sequences and action set pieces. And like I said, LDP, I think, is an underrated actor. It was great to see him in this type of role. I know he seems proud of it. There's a point he wanted to do a sequel. That you look up, he wants to do a sequel to The First Power. So as much as I like Peter Berg and Lance Henriksen, I would probably give it to LDP, to Lou Diamond. Villain-wise, I love Jeff Colbert. He's very creepy. In The First Power, how's his stomach, buddy boy? Very intimidating laugh. Like, that's how a villain does a laugh. Not... I like Brian James. He's having fun as Max. His laugh is terrible, though. His laugh is a detriment to me, because it sounds like Peter Griffin. I wish he didn't laugh at all if that's the way he's going to do it. Like Jeff Colbert, when he laughs, how's his stomach, buddy boy? That is an intimidating laugh that doesn't seem goofy, doesn't seem corny, and worked very well. But I would give the villain to Mitch Pileggi. Horace Pinter, he's just so much a ball of energy and fury as Horace Pinter. He's just going gusto with it. Whether as, before he gets the powers or afterward. The big battle at the end, he's having fun, throwing Peter Bird around. They're in this newsroom, and he's like, that's the way it is. Like, he's just going full tilt, not holding back, not that energy was infectious, made it very entertaining to watch. Like, Jeff Kober's more of the more low key compared to Mitch Pileggi, and Brian James is kind of like Mitch Pileggi, but again, he's good, but not as good as Mitch Pileggi, and Mitch Pileggi doesn't have an annoying laugh like Brian James had. So, like, the hero, I like Peter Bird, I like Lance, but I give it to Lou Don Phillips. The villain, I would give to Mitch Pileggi. Gore-wise, I'd probably give it to the horror show, because Shocker and the First Power, they don't really have a lot of big gore moments. The horror show, even though it was cut down, but if you did the overseas, because it was also known as House 3, the horror show, or that was just called House 3, and then the US called the horror show, but the Blu-ray in the US is more cut, the Blu-ray overseas is less cut. It's not the fully uncut version, because that is long gone, but it's more uncut, it's a bit more bloody. And of the three, the horror show definitely felt like it had more gore with TMB effects. Like, there's a dream scene where Lance sees this guy's head and it blows up, or when Lance is trying to find Brian James and he sees a body in this, like, I don't know what the hell you call it, body parts being grinded up in this machine over here, and this is like a very crazy, disturbing scene. He finds his partner's arm has been cut off. Like, definitely, horror show seems a bit of a bloodier affair with some really good TMB effects. I wish we could have gotten the full uncut version, but again, if you want the more uncut, don't get the Stream Factory Blu-ray. Get the Arrow Video Blu-ray. You do need a region-free player to play it. But yeah, if you want to see the horror show uncut, maybe someone upload it onto YouTube. But if you want the physical copy, don't get the Stream Factory, because that's the edited version. Because that's how it was in the US. Get the Arrow Video version. So I would give the effects of that to KMB. Because they shot your First Power, they're not really into... They're not as gory, it seems, compared to that one. Music-wise, if it's the musical score, I would give it to The First Power, because I love Stuart Copeland's score to that. I think it did a really great job. The score really fit the action set pieces well. It fit the horror scenes well. From the opening credits of The First Power, very creepy feel to the proceedings. And then when the action scenes happen, they really fit. I don't remember the score to Shocker, but on the flip side, if I think First Power is the better score, Shocker easily has the best soundtrack. Because, like, the horror show has a song at the end that I didn't really like. I thought it was kind of a shitty song. But Shocker, I mean, you got Bonfire, Sword, I am the sword, you are the stone, or no more Mr. Nice Guy, or Shocker, Shocker, we will have the power. The rock soundtrack of the Shocker is fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. And that definitely helps with the proceedings of the movie to have such a kick-ass soundtrack. And then between Shocker and The First Power, because I like the horror show, but I don't think it's nearly up to Shocker and First Power. Because I like Lance Henriksen, Brian James I don't mind, I like some of the gore bits. The finale gets to be a bit weird because Lance Henriksen's family is dead, but then they're not dead, and I'm wondering, well, why isn't his family dead? Why didn't Brian James kill the family? Why was he keeping them alive? You see their dead bodies, so you assume they're dead. Did you see the dead bodies? But then he didn't kill them, and it's like, well, why didn't he kill them? Why did Brian James? He's a guy that's willing to cut a little girl's head off. Then we see, not, I guess you call a flashback to how he caught Max, but yeah, Lance Henriksen is the MVP of that. When come over here, kiss my ass. He's a big reason why I like that movie, is because Lance got to be a badass cop and got to be the lead in this horror film. He is a big part of why that film is enjoyable to me. But it's like a lot of questions that get unresolved, that just bit confusing in the third act. With Shocker in the First Power, Shocker has a lot of energy to it, and I think it has the most energy of these three movies, and that really helps with the pacing of the film. It has such an energy that you're just along for the ride. I think Wes Craven did a good job infusing that energy into the product. On the flip side, First Power, I love its style. I love its set pieces. And while I love a lot of Shocker's energy and momentum, the set pieces really stand out to me in the First Power. Like right now, I can think of the ceiling fan bit and the car trouble that in that unbelievable car flip that's so fucking high, and like, how the hell, holy shit, it's ready to go into the moon with how high this fucking car flip was, to Jeff Colbert, see you around, buddy boy, and jumping off the building, going all the way down, to when Lou Diamond Phillips and Tracy Griffith are sliding down the sewer grate with all this water and the way that was shot. I remember those set pieces very vividly. And here, while I'm enjoying the film, with Shocker, the big set piece at the end, though, really sticks out. So, I would give the style set pieces to the First Power, but I would give the momentum and energy to Shocker. Also, I would give it the First Power. Shocker is a bit silly, as in, I mean, it makes me laugh, to be honest, but when Horace Painter's get into the TV gods and Mick Jagger's lips comes out, it looks like Mick Jagger's lips. You got it, baby. I mean, I laugh about it, but it is silly. I'm like, what the fuck? You got it, baby? What? That's a hip demon? Whatever the hell it is supposed to be. Mick Jagger's lips. The First Power is definitely more of a tonal consistency of taking itself more seriously, which I like and prefer in that instance. But it was hard to me, like, which do I like more, Shocker or the First Power? I'm going to give the Shocker. And they have a lot of points for each other. No disrespect to the horror show. I like the horror show. I give it the Shocker because of the ending. Now, the First Power, if it had... I'm liking the ending in the sewer, but then it has this sequel bait ending, which was really lame. And I think that's really my major flaw with the First Power, is the sequel bait ending. And here's the thing, I'm going to try to find the pictures and try to remember to put them on here. That was not the original ending. There were pictures, and Lou Diamond Phillips talks about briefly in an interview on the Blu-ray, where what happened was the film was shown, people were enjoying it, and the producers said, "Oh wow, this could be a big hit. We gotta put something to set up a sequel." Now, it didn't seem like it was the director's choice. Well, I think the director was the writer as well, but if not, it wasn't. It didn't seem like it was the director's choice. Definitely didn't seem like it was the actor's choice. Didn't seem like Lou Diamond Phillips even liked that bit, which I don't blame him. And of course, there was no sequel. And in the theatrical version, it's everything's fine. They're in the hospital. Tracy Griffith has these visions. Has a vision of Lou Diamond Phillips going crazy, killing her. Snaps out of it. He's still sleeping. Now that doesn't mean it will happen, because she also had a vision of Lou Diamond getting an axe to the head, and you're able to change fate. Same thing could easily happen here, but is that to be continued, which never was. But right now, if I remember, there should be pictures of the original ending where there's this nun, like in the theatrical, who just possessed. But after stopping the evil, Lou Diamond Phillips and the girl are outside. They're relaxing. They've been through hell, and they watch the nun being put into the ambulance because it's a dead body, and it's over. It's done. It's finished. Because in the theatrical, Lou Diamond Phillips just knocked out, all that stuff. Here again, it shows that Lou Diamond Tracy, everything's fine. It's after the war, after the battle. Again, the nun's being put into the ambulance, and done. And I don't know where people got these pictures from. Like, where did these pictures come from? And if that's the case, where the fuck is this alternate ending? I would love to see it. Hell, I would love to see it, and then make a fan cut and put that ending to it. Because I hate when they do that. I hate when people do these fucking sequel bait endings, and then there's never a fucking sequel to begin with. Again, that's really my only issue with the first Power. Shocker, though, has a crazy ending. Like, there's set pieces throughout the film, but I saved the big one for the last. And it's the two of them going through all these TV stations and craziness, and having this knockdown, dried out fight, and it's fun, and it goes through like the living room of this TV family and newsrooms. That's the way it is. Just going through all this crazy stuff, leaving the Beaver. Hey, Beaver, Beaver! That it's not scary, but it's fucking fun. And then, hey, I love the Power of Love when it's done well, and it might be cheesy, but I thought it was fun. The fact that you're taking the symbol of his love and doing a bulldog knockout punch to Horace Peter. Getting the hell out of there. And people may say it's a sequel bait ending where I'll get you. But I figure it was, Horace Peter doesn't want to admit that he lost. And he's stuck in his realm. He's stuck in his realm, and says goodbye to his loved one, walks off, and yeah, that awesome song, Bonfire. I am the sword, you are the stone. And an ending, people don't realize how important an ending is to your movie. Because that's going to be the last bits, the last pieces that your brain is thinking of when you leave the cinema or you get done with that DVD or Blu-ray or streaming. The ending is the last, most fresh parts in your head. And when that falters, it leaves a bad taste. Doesn't mean you'll hate the film, but it leaves... It's like the last bite of the meal is an important part. So we say the first bite, technically that could be true too, but first impressions are important, but the last bite, like if the last bite, breaks your tooth, or the last bite is spoiled, yeah, you just hate the whole meal. Last bite of that sandwich, ew, fuck this sandwich. the ending, the last bits of your movie is important. That's why, again, so many of these movies don't need fucking sequel bait endings and shit. If you want to do a sequel, wait till next time, and you can always make some shit up. You can always make some shit up. So I do love the first Power. I think it's very underrated. It was hard for me to juggle between the two. I gotta give the Shocker. Awesome ending, great soundtrack. Peter Bird is not as bad as people make him out to be. And it was refreshing to have, in an 80s horror film, a lead final guy. Like, you have Bruce Campbell with Evil Dead. I'm thinking of 80s horror movies. Here, it's not as... It wasn't as common. Just think of, Halloween films, Nightmare on Elm Street films, Friday the 13th films, Hellraiser films, Texas Chainsaw Massacre films or sequels. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was usually a lady who's the final person, the final girl at that point. Not a lot of final guys. And that was nice and refreshing. I thought Peter Bird had nice emotion to it. Like, the energy and the fun and the bash shit quality of it was entertaining. And it's why it's my favorite Wes Craven film. Now, again, the horror show, I do like it. I think Lance Henriksen is MVP. I like the TMB effects. It is third. In fact, I would probably say I would put Prison, because that's about Prison. That's better. Like Prison of Viggo Mortensen, I would put above horror show. But Shocker and First Power, of that sort of genre, are my two favorites. And again, as much as I love the First Power, if the ending was fixed, or if they stuck with the original ending, like the final shots, I should say. Because I think they had to reshoot the ending to make it bigger. I'm fine with it being a bigger ending. Like, that part of the ending you keep. But the final shots, like, just keep, the simplicity of it. You want to think of a sequel? Do it when the film's ahead and you can think of an idea. But anyway. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks for watching again to my friend Efree. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.